We're going to be diving in with Jacqueline in just a second here. Before that, I'm talking to you because you're becoming your greatest possible self. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in to the show and to all the sources that empower and help you grow. I acknowledge you. I see you. Keep showing up. Next up is the iTunes review of the week. And this week it is by, I believe it's by Pete and Merritt. Pete and Merritt says, awesome, fantastic content from experts about what it really takes to live a full, passionate, and purpose-driven life. Thank you, Chris, for all the fabulous work. Thank you so much, Pete and Merritt. And if you want to get a chance to get shouted out on a future 12-hour live stream, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Greatest Possible Self on the Apple Podcast Store. And you can find us like that. Let us know what you love, what you want to see more of, and how we can improve the show for you. Thank you so much in advance for doing that. Now, I got Jacqueline Strohl hanging out here behind the scenes. She is ready to rock the house. And I want you to get amped up for this epic interview that's about to come on, because we're going to be talking about feeling that fear and doing it anyways. Pushing through no matter the circumstances, no matter what comes up for you, to be able to keep moving through that. So definitely stick around all the way through to the end. You want to talk about showing up. You want to talk about perseverance. You want to talk about completion. Finish what you start, even when it comes to reading a page a day or 10 pages a day or listening to a complete podcast or whatever is your goal. Finish what you start. It brings you so much pride and joy and self-satisfaction. So definitely stay tuned in this interview with Jacqueline. It's going to be powerful, and she's going to inspire the heck out of you. So grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, because one of these ideas has the power to change everything for you. Let's introduce her, and then we'll bring her on the screen. Jacqueline Strohl, from stay-at-home mom with an autoimmune issue to mom-preneur and cancer warrior. Our next guest had every reason to quit, but she pushed through anyway, and it paid off for her big time. Her biggest dream is to turn her mess of a health situation into a message and inspire other parents to go after their dreams and spend more time with their families while monetizing their passion, because that's what life is really all about. Love and family. I want to get some thumbs up. I want to get some hearts up in here. I want you to be like just getting amped up for Jacqueline before she comes on, because I want the energy to be epic here on this live stream. If you're watching replay, put it in, put the comments, let us know that you're stoked to see Jacqueline, because she is going to rock the house. We're going to have a lot of fun here. Get excited. Jacqueline, are you ready to bring the heat, Superwoman?
I am so ready. Thank you so much for having me. This is incredible.
You are welcome. Thank you for being
we're doing
here.
it. Yes.
We're here. We're live. We're live, large and in charge, kicking butt, taking names. We're going to have a lot of fun. Yes. 2020, new year, new decade. We're starting off with the heat, Jacqueline. What does that mean to you, 2020, new year, new decade?
The fact that I'm doing this interview today, like starting off the new year with a bang, this is just really just setting the pace for my entire year. I know this is going to be epic, not just for me, but for everybody listening. Yes. We're doing this the right way. Starting off with a big bang.
I love it. I love it. We are. And I love the fact that I get to be a part of your journey to help you get this message out to people, because you have overcome some serious stuff. We're going to go back into the journey and talk about that in a second. But before that, just as an overview, why don't you share a little bit more about what you're up to today, Jackie? Tell us a little more about how you serve your clients.
Well, I really like to help my audience and my clients get clarity. I know that there's so many options out there when it comes to growing a business. And it can be extremely overwhelming. You're on Facebook scrolling and people are throwing free things that that sounds great. I want to try that. There's just so much overwhelm that is thrown at us every single day. So I like to help my clients, my audience, take a step back, break it down step by step, and build a business that they truly want. Right? Because there's so many options out there. And I know that I personally had coaches that were telling me what worked for them. Yeah. But it didn't work for me because I don't fit in their shoes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so it's all about finding something that works for you specifically, building the business that you want to build, and really finding happiness through all of that.
I love it. And I think you've had these life circumstances that you were dealt that helped you say, I'm not like other people in certain senses, right? I think for
Yeah.
people who say, "Oh, nobody understands me," I think that's not the best approach to come from, because then you're just closing off any and all help and, ability for you to connect with people. But if we're constantly looking for that source outside of us, and we're saying like, no, it's just not the right fit because it's a
Right.
like kind of cookie cutter or blueprint kind of thing. And I think
Right.
there's a fine line, or a blurry line, I should say, between like, hey, I'm gonna give you what's worked for me. What are the systems? What are the things that have worked for me? And here's the one size fits all thing. And Jacqueline,
Right.
I know that
Right.
you really care about like what your clients, what your audience is experiencing, so that they can design something that gives them that lifestyle that they're truly desiring, the business that is designed around their life. And I think that's super
Correct.
critical. So I want to go back
Correct.
into your journey and talk about
Hmm.
like these health challenges, these things that you were growing through as a mom. Like, tell us more about how you came to this place today.
Well, I never really knew what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Mm,
I think I've always had kind of an entrepreneur spirit and never really realized it. It never
mhm,
really came out until I went through this journey.
mhm,
Um,
yeah.
but I never really knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I never felt right working a regular job. I ended up just being a stay-at-home mom, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
I was so fortunate to be able to do that. Then I started getting really sick. The first time I ended up in the hospital, my daughter was 6 months old, and I was sick all the time. Nobody could really figure out what was going on with me. I was getting adhesions in my intestines and full-on obstructions, and had to have a couple emergency surgeries.
Mm,
I missed my son's second birthday because of I was
mm,
in the hospital for 2 weeks with a pretty bad obstruction, and it really just made me feel like uh, I I wasn't meant to do much more with my life. And that was a little depressing. And the
mm,
bills were piling up, and uh and and I just had it. I got to a point where I just had it.
yeah.
So I couldn't work a regular job because I was in the hospital all the time and trying to get whatever this autoimmune issue was under control.
Yeah.
So I knew that people were making money online.
Mhm.
I had no idea how how any of it worked. So I started I got on YouTube,
Google.
started Google exactly YouTube videos, you name it.
Yep. Yep.
I actually started off in e-commerce, and I didn't like it because I wasn't personally helping people. I was just trying to sell cat t-shirts. you know, it wasn't truly helpful for anybody.
Yeah.
So I came across affiliate marketing through my research of the latest and greatest product for e-commerce. I came
Uh-huh.
across affiliate marketing, and I absolutely fell in love with the idea of actually helping people and being able to inspire other people with my story at the same
Mhm.
time. So I took the plunge. I hired a coach. I was taking courses. And 3 days after I made this decision, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm.
3 days. And at that moment, it was like, so I might get a little teary while I'm telling this story. At that moment, it was like, for a split second, it felt like the universe didn't want me to do anything spectacular with my life. I wanted so bad to give my family everything. Um, but I got that cancer diagnosis, and it was devastating. It was completely devastating. But I took a step back and I talked with my husband, and he's like, you already have this mess. If you can just do this, and you can really truly inspire people more than you even could before. So I said, you're right. You're right. And so I got that diagnosis. It was July 3rd of 2018. I got that
Wow.
diagnosis. Um, August 27th. So the time in between there, I spent a lot of time just diving in, taking courses,
Yeah.
working. August 27th, 2018, I had a double mastectomy. August 28th, the day after, I was still in the hospital. And I'm not going to lie, I was really high on painkillers. I had oxygen in my face, and I was in tremendous pain. And my phone buzzed. And I thought for sure, I said, oh, one of my family members checking on me,
Mhm.
seeing how I'm doing.
Mhm.
Picked up my phone. It was not, it was an email. I opened it up, and I'll remember it clearly forever. I opened up my email, and it said, "You just earned a commission." I said, you have to be kidding me. And I opened it up. It was $1,000.
Yes.
It was my first $1,000 commission while I was lying in that hospital bed.
Wow.
And I just
Wow.
broke down crying. I screamed. My husband's in the room with me and he's like, are you okay?
What's going on?
I'm like, oh yeah. So he comes over and I show him the email and he like does this like joke like, oh my gosh. And it was just this incredible moment because it the money was great. Of course, the money was great, but the epiphany I had in that moment where I finally felt like I was on the right path and that my message was going to be so powerful and the universe wanted me to go down this bumpy road to inspire people. So I realized in that moment that my bumpy road was never, ever, ever about me. It was about inspiring other people and helping them and showing them that it doesn't matter what your circumstance is. It doesn't matter if you just go for your dream, no matter what, amazing things happen. Oh, I get teary when I tell that.
Jackie, this is like so beautiful. And what I am really honoring is how really fresh this still is for you within the last like 2 years,
Yes. Yes.
I think that is so powerful how you share it, just being yourself, being real. And for everyone out there who's going through a difficult time or knows someone who is, I know this interview is like really going to hit home and make a difference, right? Because like
that's what I want. I want to show people that just go for it. There's always going to be a reason to quit. Yeah. There's always going to be this nagging sensation that says you can't do this. Put it aside and just go for your dreams no matter what.
How did you have the courage, the commitment to keep going through with it? I think people get derailed and they allow their excuses. They allow their reasons, all the reasons why they can't do the thing, or the kids or the mortgage or whatever. Like the list is endless. How did you get through that?
I always just kept picturing my kids' faces. They've always wanted to go to Legoland. And that's a huge why for me. I want to be able to do things like that for them. My kids kept me going. My husband doesn't like his job. I want to be able to retire him and have him create his dream at the same time. I think I hit a point in my life where it was like, this is how life is going to be. Life is going to be beautiful for us no matter what. Even if I get cancer, it doesn't matter. Wow. Right? We are living the life that we want to live because we only get this one shot. Nothing is going to stop us.
Wow. Well, I'm so floored at your like realization. I think it's important. How do you support your audience in seeing that, in owning it for themselves? Because it's one thing for you to share it and inspire them, and I know simply through you sharing your story, like that creates a different picture in their mind of what's possible. What have you seen really works for them to own that they're not limited by their excuses, and anything that they set their mind to, their dreams, they really can achieve it? How do you empower them to do that?
I'm brought back to one of the first coaching calls that I was ever a part of, where I was the coach. Mm-hmm. And I remember just saying to this person, I was really trying to push the fact that he was making excuses, a lot of excuses. And I kind of pointed that out to him. And I remember the look on his face, because we were on a Zoom call, the look on his face when he was like, oh my gosh, I'm holding myself back. I think that I really like to support people that way, like kind of showing them that, yeah, you're not even realizing you're making these excuses and holding yourself back. You have everything you need already, right? You've taken the courses, you have the strategies. Everybody has 1,000 strategies, right? But up here is what holds people back. And I think a lot of people don't even realize it, so actually helping people come up, like, face those blocks,
Yep.
really, and push through makes all the difference in the world.
So how do people identify those blocks? If they're in a one-on-one coaching session or a group coaching session or something like that with you, then they can identify it. But what way can they start today to say, hey, how am I holding myself back?
One of the biggest ways that I have found for me personally was through meditation. Kundalini specifically.
Wow.
It's bringing up so much stuff for me when I do it.
Yeah.
That I didn't even know stuff that was holding me back. Like little things from my childhood. I had a really great childhood.
Yeah.
But still things pop up.
Yeah.
So I think really spending the time to work on you harder than anything else is the key. And finding a step-by-step program to help you do that focuses, of course, there's going to be strategy involved in that for growing your business, but focusing more on your head, in your mindset, ahead of everything else, and then building from there, I think is really, really key.
How did you get started with Kundalini freaking meditation? That's like so far in left field for so many internet marketers. How did you find it?
I stumbled upon it. One of my Facebook friends was posting about a challenge that she was doing, a Kundalini challenge, and then it sounded really interesting. I'm like, okay,
awesome.
I'll try it. And the first day, I remember I was doing it, and I just got like these full body chills, and like was just like this overwhelming sense of just love and greatness. I'm like, this is so powerful. And then all these things started coming up for me, and it's helped me work through them. And it's incredible. It really is incredible.
Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. How have you really asked for your support with your family? Like what role have they played in you being able to achieve these things and be able to inspire people and grow your business?
My family has been incredible. So not everybody, when you do this sort of thing, not everybody in your life understands. They have no idea exactly what I do, but they know that it makes me happy and that I'm seeing success, and they do whatever it takes. They give me my space, they give me my time, whatever I need to do to grow my business, and I have their support 100%, which I know a lot of people can't say that. But I really think it's so important that you find somebody in your life that can give you that sort of support. And, when you're having a bad day, a rough day, something bad happened, that you can go talk to about it. Whether it's in a Facebook community or it's your spouse, it doesn't matter. It's important for us to be able to let go of those things. Well, I am extremely blessed and fortunate to have a great family that does that for me.
Wow. That's amazing. I think that having those people who you can trust will be there, and I think I'm sure there's elements where you're saying, hey, like there's already so much going on. I don't want to be an additional burden to them. But then you remember, hey, here's why I'm doing it. Here's why I'm making these requests. Here's why I'm asking for time to go pour into this thing, this, business, social media, all these things, to be able to give back to them, to be able to make sure their dreams become a reality too.
Exactly.
And I think that you're super clear on that.
Yes. Most definitely.
Yeah.
So blessed.
That's important. It's important. I don't think everyone is as like convicted, so to speak, as like committed, no matter what it takes. By the way, this is for you, and be able to communicate that to their family, or just whatever the expectations have been in the family communication style. It's just, I think for, like you said, a lot of people that aren't necessarily blessed with that. What do you recommend with the people who it's more difficult to communicate that with their family, and they have those challenges to be able to dedicate the time?
I think that that's a hurdle that a lot of entrepreneurs definitely need to tackle. And it starts with communication. You got to be real honest about, like, this is what I need, and we're doing this together. Like, you might be the one building the business, but everybody in the household is affected by it. So it starts with a communication and honesty. You really just need to break it down about what you need in order to make dreams come true for everyone.
So where does someone start when it comes to like building a business of their dreams, a life by design? Where do you usually recommend your clients and your audience start with that?
Well, I like to direct people to the same place that I started
Yeah.
because I learned from the beginning how important mindset was, and I've grown to sorry, I started teaching people that from the beginning when I jumped into coaching too. So I think it's so important to start like I did,
Mhm.
where you find a community that really focuses on the mindset,
Mhm.
but then really nurtures that the fact that you need to be building the business that you want
Hmm.
and can guide you on that path
Yeah.
to growing it the way you want, monetizing your passion, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're not doing something you're passionate about, then forget it, because this
Mm.
takes work.
Yeah.
All of it takes work. And if
Yeah.
you're not truly passionate about it, then you're going to burn out and you're not going to have the success that you truly desire in life. So I think that you start with your mindset, start in a community that really nurtures where you want to go
Mm.
and grow from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's like you said, with discover something you're passionate about. If you're
Right.
doing something that like sucks the life out of you, and then you come back to
Right.
your family and ask for support, they're gonna be like, "You're miserable. No,
Right.
don't. No, I don't want to support you." Like,
Exactly. Exactly. Well, my family doesn't truly understand
right.
exactly what I do.
Right.
They see the passion in me every
Yeah.
single day. They see how happy
Exactly.
it makes me. So
Exactly.
that's a huge thing. A
So
huge thing.
so when fear comes up in someone, how do you deal with it? How do you invite your audience and your clients to handle fear and things that can stop us from achieving our goals?
Right. So I think that all of us have these random fears that
Hmm.
come up for us sometime. Um, well, I think that stepping back and realizing where that fear is coming from, and then working on fixing it is truly, truly important. But it doesn't happen overnight, right?
Hmm.
You have to know the steps that you need to take. It's like a ladder almost, like you're climbing this ladder and you're doing okay. And then there's this fear that knocks you down a few rungs.
Hmm.
You're not going to get back up to where you were right away, right? You need to take the steps to get back up the ladder and not force it.
Hmm.
Right? It needs to be this natural process that happens. So I think recognizing it and knowing what you personally need to grow and come back up is really, really key. And I know for me, that's I have to meditate daily or
Yeah.
I'm off.
Hmm.
I am off bad.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the fear, like there's always going to be fears and doubts and things that come, and the question
Right.
is how much does it derail us? And when
Right.
we're
How many rungs does it knock you down?
exactly,
Right.
exactly, and when you're super
Right.
present, when you've been doing the work, gratitude, meditation, when you do those
Yes.
things, you're way more resilient and you're able to handle whatever life throws at you. Have you found that, Jackie?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah,
Most definitely. So,
yeah,
like I said, recognizing it and knowing what works for you
yeah.
to come back is so important.
I think a lot of people are looking for guidance to let's say to you, to me, to whoever the coach
Hmm.
or leader is, to say, what am I supposed to do? And so
Right.
I'm curious, how do you balance between, hey, do what works for you, and here's what works? How do you balance those two?
Well, I think having a conversation with a person and finding out a little bit about them
Yeah.
uh, is key
Yep.
at first.
Yeah.
Um, I can tell them what works all day long for me and give them a few different options, but they really need to go out and figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them the options, give them ideas. A lot. I've been on calls where I recommend like, oh, have you ever tried Kundalini? And they're like, never even heard of it. But then they go and try it, and they come back and they're like, I feel so great. I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Mm.
know. It just you really just have to go out and you have to work to find what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
So I
And
think a lot of people are at that position where they haven't tested or experimented enough to find what's going to work for them.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. And I think going out and finding something like even like a step by step process and gaining that the clarity
Mm.
is really the key. Clarity with everything that you do, clarity in your business, clarity on how to get out of that rut,
Yeah.
whatever it is. You have to work to find that that right fit. for you.
Yeah. And something I noticed in your journey, you had a really, in the grand scope of things, really short learning curve to be able
Yes.
to pick things up. I think a lot of people experiment and do things again and again and again and again, trying to, break through, but they stay stuck and they stay struggling. What would you say is the difference maker from staying stuck and struggling to finally having that breakthrough?
Oh, I know for me, I had a period where I was taking every single course possible.
Yes. Yes.
Everything I could possibly absorb. And then I had all of these wonderful nuggets in my head,
Yeah.
right? Like all these grand ideas, but I had no idea how to piece it all together.
Mm,
I think that it's so common and not talked about often enough in our world,
yeah.
in our entrepreneurial space, that the course overwhelm and not knowing what to do next.
Mm,
Um, Slowing down, picking one thing and running with it
mm,
was what it took for me.
mm. How does it's interesting because I think we're all trying to find, a lot of people are trying to find what is the thing I'm best at? What is my gift? What is my
Mhm.
purpose? What is my genius? So I think it's interesting because we want to find the right thing, but there's
Right.
a fear of missing out on that right thing. So
The
it's almost like
FOMO.
we're hesitating to go 100% in on any one
Right.
thing because, well, what if it's that? What if it's that? What if it's that? And it can be really debilitating.
Oh, definitely. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with being truly passionate
Mm,
about what you're doing. There's tons of options out there.
yeah.
Pick the one that makes sense here in your heart
Mhm.
and run with that.
Is there anything else besides experimentation that you would recommend so that people can get clear on what they're most passionate about?
I always go back to meditation. I think that
Mm.
that is definitely like a blanket. Like this will help everybody. Like it's scientifically proven. I
I
think if
love
you
it.
spend some time with yourself in your own head, you're
Mm.
going to be amazed at what comes forward, and it's you talking to yourself. So I think spending time in your own head is by far first thing you need to do to get clarity.
Wow. Has your family jumped on the meditation practice with you? Have they been as
You
as
know what?
eager?
I had my kids. I told them yesterday morning. I said I'm going to go meditate, and I was putting on my earbuds, and they're like, "Can we come in?" I said, "Yes." And I taught them how to tune into the Kundalini, and they were doing the whole thing with me, like
Wow.
chanting. It was so great, and
Wow.
I that was one of my favorite meditations that I've done because having them with me, there was like this like energy.
Amplification.
Yes, it
Yup.
was so beautiful, and I could
Wow.
tell they didn't really quite know what they were doing, but just having them there and experiencing that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the day, I could tell that their moods were like
Wow.
lighter. It's been a stressful holiday for us. We've had some family in town. It's just been kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
for them to do that and let go and just be lighter, it was beautiful. It
I
was
love
really
it.
beautiful.
I love it. With the Kundalini, I'm curious. Do you have a particular audio track or YouTube or something like that that you recommend that people tune into or person to go to?
So I started learning this through Brianna Rose.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of her.
Uh-uh.
She taught me the basics. Like I took this challenge with
Yeah.
her. She taught me the basics on how to do it, and so now I just find some great music to listen to.
Uh-huh.
Some on YouTube. I
Yep.
just look up meditation music and I pop in my headphones and I'll do my chants and my movements and then I'll tune out and be ready for my day.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah,
I love
it
it.
was a process learning all that.
Of course, of course. It
Yeah,
takes it
yeah.
takes being willing to mess up and look silly and all these things, but like the end result, the energy, the clarity, the empowerment is just like massive.
Ooh, yeah. It's powerful. It is powerful.
I love it. I love it. This is gold. Okay, so with the business and building the business, what are some of the different vehicles that you've seen as potential ways that people could make money? They're exploring, they're checking in with their passion, they're finding out like what lights them up. What are some possible avenues that someone might see if they're in your group, or that you might mention as popular ones, or things that maybe a lot of people can get tons of use out of? Where would you recommend as far as that?
Well, I always start with some basics on um, social media
Okay.
and growing on social media. But then I always point to helping people with specific funnels,
Okay.
specific masterminds and courses, because live events, wow.
Yep.
Going to a live event and being present in those sort of the energy in those rooms is incredible. So
Yeah.
I help people find great masterminds, great live events that they can go to. And then we focus on some strategy through social media and growing their business that way. Whether they're in network marketing or, I've worked with a lot of people who do like direct mail
Mm-hmm.
or do a lot of essential oils and, CBD. I've helped a lot of people in those fields. It doesn't really matter what their passion is. Finding those right avenues that I share with people through my group, and especially on my YouTube channel, I teach a lot about growing, a lot of strategies and mindset videos on my YouTube channel as well.
That's awesome. So what was the intention? When did you say, hey, YouTube is a priority for me to get this content out? And like, what was your vision and intention with the YouTube channel?
Well, I was learning a ton.
Yeah.
I was learning a ton, and then I knew that I just had gold, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I think the YouTube channel started out for me as a way to kind of, because like I was saying earlier, I had so much in my head.
Yeah.
There was so much up there. I think it started out as a way to kind of unload
Mm-hmm.
some of that, and I was sharing solid gold with people and getting a really great response. People thanking me for the knowledge I was sharing, because it was a lot of it is stuff that you can't find anywhere unless you're paying for these expensive courses.
Yeah.
So, and it's really become it's fun for me. I love my YouTube channel. I had a coach that was really trying to push Facebook for me, and I think that kind of hurt my YouTube channel. And it was one of those things, like my coach wasn't listening to me. I'm like, I want to do YouTube. Like that's where I'm most comfortable. I do love Facebook. I love my Facebook group. I have a great community there that we're really close. But my YouTube channel, I feel like I get to unload everything from here
Mm-hmm.
and just share some amazing value on growing strategies for really any niche.
And I feel like YouTube is such a powerful search engine as well. It's like Facebook's great, but a lot of people can't find the content that we put out very easily unless they're already within your network or they know to search for your group and you have like really great search terms in your group and all that great stuff, So I think
Exactly.
YouTube is really powerful long term to build that presence, because then, whenever people search for something, they're going to find your stuff.
Right. Like nobody is on Facebook with the intent of looking up Facebook strategies, like
Nope.
they're not Google. They don't treat it like Google. They don't have an intention when they're on Facebook. They're looking at cat videos
Yep.
and
Yep.
seeing what their friends are up to. So that's why I really love YouTube. I've been able to get in front of an audience that actually needs my help. Like, and it just makes it really easy for me to get in front of them and share my knowledge.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. Jackie, this is a lot of gold so far. And I want to know, in terms of your business, what are the values that you bring forth that have people attracted to you? Because like you have this magnetism, you have this great energy, you have people who tune in on your videos. Like what is it that you think has people say, I want to keep growing with Jackie? I feel like connection with her. I feel something special with you, Jackie. Like what do you think that is for you, your secret sauce?
I think most of all, I think it's the kindness that I really try to bring to the table. Like in my group, I want everybody to just help each other and share their knowledge and just be kind to one another, and just really spread that love. And I think that's really become my brand. I really love the community and the love, and I think that's so important that we start there and grow from there and share that with the world.
That's awesome. I love it. You're like, your business is like the affiliate, the marketing, like being a motivational influencer. And I feel like the energy is like such an important part of you. The spiritual aspect of you, that's like almost an even deeper, even more important part than the business. The business is the vehicle, but the spiritual aspect and the energy and the kindness and the being a good human being, like that's more important than anything.
Oh, definitely. And I think that should apply across life in general, not
Mm.
just in my Facebook group and in my business. No,
Right.
I treat my entire world like that. And I think that if everybody did, this world would be a much different place.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So with your content, you're out to really be kind and remind people to be kind, remind people to share and support
And
each
treat
other and
people like
connect.
people. I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing. Treat other people like people. It's so
Mm.
easy when you're on social media to just send a link, and I get messages every day from people just randomly saying stuff to me, and I've learned how to deal with it, but I know that a lot of people get those sort of messages and they're like, this person isn't treating me like a person.
Mm.
And I think that if we approach our businesses and we have that intention first and foremost when
Yep.
we're out doing our marketing, when we're out making a video, to just treat people like people.
Mm.
I think that is so important.
Mm. That's powerful.
Yeah.
I think someone might say, like, I have so much going on, it's difficult for me to pause and to take the time to treat people like people and be kind and go through those kind of extra steps. What do you say to that person who's like so in a rush, so busy that they're trying to just get it done in the first place?
No. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think that that person
Mm.
would be shocked if they just rerouted their steps a little
Mm.
in a different direction, right? They're going down this path this way. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Well, we all have the same amount of time. If you just
Mm.
did things a little differently, had a different intention, just approach things a little differently, you're gonna be propelling at the same pace, but on a
Mm.
different path. That's actually going to get you where you want to go.
Yeah. Mhm. And I think that's so important, is like just the intention of taking the extra time is the energy with which we're like planting the seeds that
Yes,
sprout into whatever. But if we're planting seeds
right,
of rush and hurry and not enough and scarcity and overwhelm and all this kind of stuff, then that's what we'll get in our business and is more of that. But if
right,
we say, hey, if all I have is 5 minutes, if all I have is 10 minutes, I'm going to go connect with someone in a really powerful, deep, meaningful way. And so it's like almost
exactly,
instead of going wide and try to get everything, it's like go deep and really connect.
right. And I know that people don't, especially on social media. I think people think that they'll just write something real quick and put it up, and it's good.
Mhm.
But the truth is, whatever energy you were feeling when you're writing that or making that video or writing the blog post or whatever you're doing, your energy is being poured into that, and people feel it.
Yeah.
People feel it when they read it, consume it. So I think it's so important to just remember that your audience is built of real people,
Mm.
and you need to talk to them like real people and share your intentions, your good intentions with
Yeah.
them, and not just rush, rush, rush. I just got to do this real
Mm.
quick because it comes across in everything that you do.
That's good. I love that you were talking about audience. I think a lot of people might have a vehicle, might have something that they're working on, product, service, something, but they don't necessarily know who to put it in front of or how to put it in front of them, how to market effectively. What would you say are your tips around that and knowing who that client might be?
A lot of times, your perfect client is you.
Mm.
I build a rapport very quickly with other moms,
Yeah.
and I've met quite a few moms who have had some sort of fight, some sort of health issue, and we connect right away. So I think a lot of times you need to step back and just say, who do I relate to? Who are the people who share the same values as me? Who have maybe looked into what I provide,
Mm-hmm.
but don't know where to start. That is your perfect audience. People who have already dabbled in it but are having a hard time, and you just need to find a way to get in front of them, which social media makes incredibly easy to do.
Mm. It does. It does.
It does.
You just Facebook group search
Yeah,
whatever.
it's crazy. It's crazy how easy it is to find your perfect audience if you know who they are. But
Yeah.
getting that clarity,
Mm.
this is something I actually just did a clarity challenge inside my Facebook group. on how to get some clarity, because it was all about the course overload.
Yeah.
Right? People taking too many courses and not knowing what to do. So I broke it down into like 5 days. Like, this is how you find your audience. This is the different strategies you can do just to help break it down like a step by step. And I really just try to push the clarity. That's my big thing. Let's get some clarity for you so that you can get going in the right direction.
So who would you say it's moms, working moms who are struggling with challenges, family challenges, health challenges? Those are the people who you typically work best with because they relate so much to you, and they're like, hey, if Jackie can do it, I can do it.
Right. I found that those are the people that approach me the most, are moms, but I get a lot of dads too. Really, I think, not to brag or anything, but my kindness, my kindness really resonates with a lot of different people. But I find that, parents more than anybody approach me and are looking for some help.
It's good. It's good that you know that. I think it's really important to own, like, hey, I really love to work with these people. I love being a parent. I love that I get to work with parents. And I think some people might be hesitant to narrow down to like a specific set of people. And I think that's one of the best things that we can do as well to make our message powerful and laser focused and clear.
Oh, definitely. Because it like all the gurus say, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So really focusing in on who you relate to and who would relate to you is so important.
Yeah, it is. In 2020, Jackie, I want to hear what is important for you. What are you prioritizing? What are you creating this year that is really going to shake and rock people's worlds?
I actually made the decision just last night to really jump into my YouTube channel again and start doing a video every single day.
Wow.
Yes. I'm going to still be active in my Facebook group. I'm going to be doing new challenges in my Facebook group as well to help people grow. But I'm really going to be pushing my YouTube channel because it's so easy for people to be able to get on there and find that value just ready for them whenever they need it.
Wow, that's so cool. Since you've been doing YouTube, you're going deeper into YouTube. What do you think are some important tips to be successful with YouTube, to grow a YouTube channel? What have you learned so far? What have you seen is important for that?
Well, I've found that I see a lot of people doing videos for things that maybe they thought they needed to say, like maybe like more like a vlog. Like trying to get it off their chest. You're going to have the most success on your YouTube channel if you know what your audience is searching for and you are making videos about those topics, not just random things that come into your head. You really need to, like we were just talking about, the clarity with your audience. Know who they are, know what they're searching for, and provide that value for them up front. So and you really can't share too much information.
Yeah, no, because like people can always go get more information, and information is not what we need more of. It's all over, right? So the objective, I think, in sharing a video with great information and lots of information, abundant information, is to just touch someone's life enough, like give them enough, be generous enough to activate that kind of reciprocal response of saying, man, Jackie keeps delivering all these freaking epic videos. Like, what else does she got? I want to go find out more. I want to continue the journey. It's time to evolve. And they probably don't think this, but they're like, I want more. Like, what else does she have? It's time to graduate to the next step, to go check out her website, to go check out that freebie, to go do whatever and get access to more, because she keeps talking about it. She keeps mentioning these things, leaving these breadcrumbs, dropping hints, or even big, like, flashing signs. Go do this, go buy this, go get this. And it's like, when we put that in front of people enough, then they will eventually take action if they are finding value, if they're aligned, and if they're, our ideal client, or at least close to it.
Right. And video is so powerful because the person on the other side of that video gets to see your facial expressions. They get to hear the tone in your voice. And that's why that authenticity and that kindness and that love and that energy that I was preaching about earlier is so important. You got to have the right intentions, or people are going to just walk away.
I love it. I love the spirit in which you're doing business, Jackie. I think
Thank
it's
you.
something that a lot of people could really benefit from. So with the information on YouTube to grow the channel, it's like give tons of great value. I think that's a big point is give away your best stuff, deliver
Oh,
your best stuff,
definitely.
share it and share the best stuff. And I think there's a difference between giving it all away in like one thing, one access touch, so to speak, and like putting it out over time, like
Right.
giving away your best stuff, but like don't give all the whole package at once. Just give them pieces and leave them wanting more, and to hire you or to buy your product or service to get the whole package. That's what they do. It's like, okay, I've seen enough value. I know that the package exists. I just don't know how to piece it all together. So when they
Right.
invest,
Right.
then they get the solution to piece it all together.
Correct. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Bits and pieces, and well, people only want to consume a little at a time
Yeah.
anyway. So,
Yeah.
short little videos giving tons of value, which is what I focus on most of all, like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes of somebody's time and give them huge value in that 10 minutes. I think that's really key. And even when I've done a lot of coaching where I do like an hour at a time, but I'll break it up into 2 30-minute chunks so that I can sit down with that person for 30 minutes and we can get to know each other and I can make some recommendations.
Right.
It can go implement
Yes.
and then come back to me and say, this worked, this didn't work. And we go, okay, let's come up with a new plan that's going to work for you, because that's what it's all about, getting what works for that person.
Yeah. Is there a certain set of personal development or things that you're studying today, like any like specific books or things that are really making an impact in you, in your life?
Super
Oh,
attractor. I always
I
had
love
this
it.
sitting next to me. I'm reading it for the second time. I love this book,
Wow.
Super Attractor by Gabby Bernstein. She's the one that really got me spiritual.
Wow.
And I think that happened because I was going to Austin for an attraction marketing workshop, and I was looking for something to read on the plane. And I just went down to the local library, and I swear that her book found me. It was kind of crazy how it happened, and I've been hooked ever since.
How
So
did it happen? Tell us the story.
I had no idea what I wanted to read. So I just went down to the library and I typed in personal development and I found a few books. I found a whole list of books.
Yep.
There were 10 of them. None of them were there. They were all checked out except for hers. And I had never heard of her. It was called The Universe Has Your Back. I had never heard of her. It was like kind of the beginning of my spiritual journey. I wasn't really into it then. And I got the book and it actually sat on my table for like a week. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. And then I finally just picked it up and read it. And so I was floored. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is incredible. I'm so glad that this just fell into my lap pretty much. So yeah, I think reading personal development books, Gabby is incredible. I really highly recommend her. But I've read all the good books that everybody reads. Rich Dad Poor Dad, The One Thing, The Subtle Art of Not Giving Enough. That's one of my favorites by Mark Manson. I love that book. Yep. He's so funny too.
I just got that from my girlfriend for Christmas. I was like, what book do I get her? All right, we're doing it.
I laughed so hard the first like 4 chapters of that book. He has so much insight and he delivers it with some laughs.
Yeah.
And it's really great. So yeah, I try to make time to read every single day. I'm going to be honest, it doesn't happen every single day. I have kids in dance and taekwondo and basketball, and it's crazy. But I do my best, and it really makes a world of difference.
Well, I think
read Gabby's books if you haven't.
Yeah, and I think it's important to read. I think that's super important. And in this age of information, number one, for you to meditate, I think to clear your mind, I think that to get your own guidance, like you can fill your mind up as much as you want, but if you're not tuned into who you are and what's working, what's not working in your life, which I feel meditation brings you that clarity, then
definitely.
all the information isn't going to do much. It'll help, but it's not going to do as much as meditating. So that's number one. Number two, Jackie, I think that being a content generator these days versus a content consumer, I think it's important. I think it's important to consume content, to go listen to podcasts, to watch YouTubes, to buy courses, go to live events, like go with the things that you're aligned with the things that are important. And I think the more important thing, though, is to shift from 80% consuming content, 20% generating content, to flip that around and be 20% consuming content and learning what people are sharing and staying plugged into those sources. Super important, essential.
Always learning, always learning.
Always learning. And then switch that other portion of creating content, generating content to 80% and make that the majority. So I see you doing that. I see you creating your YouTube videos every single day like that. That is such a great master intention, because you're saying, hey, I'm here, I'm committed to this. And I think YouTube will like really push you up the rankings, because it's saying, hey, she keeps putting out content and people keep engaging, and it's like, it's good stuff. So I think that's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Jackie, you're doing, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think a lot of people, they have a hard time making that transition.
Yeah.
And because they're afraid of what people like, feel the fear and do it anyways. Yep. You're going to suck at first. You're going to, no matter what. But if you don't do it and push through it, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah, it's like,
so, own it.
Yeah, we'll be a prisoner to the what if. We'll be the prisoner to the fears forever. It's like you have to go mess up. You have to go fail, because in that failure will be so much gold of learning.
Oh, yeah. So I still have my first videos on my channel. I'm not taking them down. They're terrible.
Yes.
They're terrible, but they're there. And my husband watched my upload last week and he goes, wow, your videos have come so far.
Dang.
I'm like, well, you do it enough.
Yeah.
And you learn. Yep. You learn how to tell the story. You learn how to, convey the things that are on your mind and how to relate to people while you do it. And wow, getting over that hurdle feels incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And once you get the momentum, though, it's like the wind is at your back. It's like, hey, I did the first 3 months of a video every week or a post every day or whatever it might be. And you're like, okay, I'm on fire, I can keep doing this.
You just get better and better and better. And like you said, wind at your back, momentum, and it just feels like it's great.
Yeah, I love it. Jackie, this has been a really powerful interview. I love the inspiration. I love the tips that you've given us to be consistent, to face the fear, as well as like different strategies, empowerment techniques, Kundalini meditation. That was awesome. I know that we've just scratched the surface. You have so much more in your group. People can go onto your channel. Let's tell people how they can stay connected with you, how they can get involved with you. What are their next steps?
So my YouTube channel is just youtube.com/Jackie Strohl, JACKIESTROHL. Okay. I have a bunch of videos there, just value bombs. And I will be, so right now I've been doing one video a week, and here in 2020, I'm going to be doing one every single day. So go subscribe and get those value bombs. Thank you. Thank you. And I also have my Facebook group on Facebook, where I go and share a lot of my stuff for my videos, and I like to do challenges every now and then to help people really gain momentum in their business. And then I also have a bunch of freebies that I've been giving away. I call it Posting for Profits.
I love it.
It's called Posting for Profits on Facebook. There's a book for that. There's a Facebook Lives done right. There's an Instagram book, and there's also a social media post idea, so you never run out of social media posts. I like to try to give people as many tools as they possibly need, even if you don't use them all at once. Yep. Right? You don't have to use them all at once, but if you have, the carpenter doesn't use all of his tools at once, but he has everything that he needs in his toolbox. Yeah. So that's one of my big goals, is to get people as many tools as they possibly need. That way that they can just go wherever they need to. They can build that house.
I love it. And I totally agree with this. The next guest who's coming on, Joe Nicasio, is a good friend of mine. One of the things that just astounds me from him is every time I talk to him, he's like pulling out this different resource, because he's been, studying for years and years and years of business. And I'm like, where does this come from? Where'd you get this handout? Where'd you get this resource? So he's just collected them over the years. So it's like, especially if we're going to be influencers in business, in mindset, in whatever field that we want to grow in, parenting, coaching, I don't care, right? Like whatever it is that's important to
Whatever
you,
it is, right.
when you have tons of resources, you're able to be more effective and really impact more people's lives for
I
whatever the
couldn't agree more.
situation is. And you never know what someone is going to be struggling with. So to have those resources, those checklists, those whatever it might be, is super,
Mhm.
super important. So, Jacqueline, what is your Facebook group again? Can you say the name of that?
It's just Jackie Strohl's free coaching group. Try to keep the name really
I
simple.
love it.
Yeah. I have a great community of people already in there. I know that a bunch of
Wow.
them were going to hop on this live. They were so excited to see this. And we all just go in there and we support each other and we share tons of value.
Hmm.
So it's a great group. I'm really, really proud of where it's gone so far.
I love it. So Jackie Strohl free coaching. They can search for that
Yes.
on Facebook, and they can go to
Yes.
youtube.com/Jackie Strohl, and that's
Correct.
JACKIE, Jackie, and then Strohl is STROHL.
Correct.
Jackie
Yes.
Strohl. youtube.com/Jackie Strohl or JackieStrohl.com/posting for profit downloads, right?
Right. Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Like super crystal clear. We have gotten clarity. We are inspired. You are just like a gem, Jackie. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your love, sharing your kindness with us and with our tribe. And for everyone who's tuning in, go check out Jackie. Stay connected on her journey. Subscribe on YouTube. Keep getting that inspiration every day of 2020. And appreciate you being here, Jacqueline.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Chris. This was so much fun. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. You are awesome. I love your show. Thank you. Keep spreading your light.
Thank you. We'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Bye.